Welcome back to the NewJerseyDevils.com draft preview show. Chris Wescott, Amanda Stein, and Kevin Weeks joining you here. We're talking about the top 2 prospects in the upcoming 2019 NHL draft. We started with Capo Caco, the #1 international skater, and now we move to the #1 North American skater, Jack Hughes. Real quick, guys, what separates Jack Hughes from the pack?
Well, do we have time to go through all the records that he's broken in the last year or since he really has been on skates? Yeah. He comes from a hockey pedigree family. We know his brother was drafted and plays for the Vancouver Canucks. Listen, he just excels in any opportunity that's given to him, and that really, sets him apart from the pack.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy, you have to really respect the family too. Leaving the U.S., moving up to Toronto, playing in the GTHL, the best youth hockey league in the world. I'm a proud graduate of that league. More importantly, our many NHLers, both past and present and future, him being one of them. And this is a guy that's so dynamic. He's lightning in a bottle offensively. A lot of people would compare him to a Patrick Kane, Johnny Gaudreau type based on his ability to generate offense and to be able to make plays, the way he sees the game. And what was really impressive to me, and I've had players that just recently played with him that I've spoken to, and Coach Hines, et cetera, but in meeting him and him coming on set at an NHL draft, I love his composure. And I love that kind of attitude. You could see it in his eyes. He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm ready. Let's roll. Give me the puck. I'm going to make some plays.
Well, I love how at the Combine he said, I want to go first overall.
Yeah.
I have dreamed of going first overall. And we know hockey players.
Sure.
They're humble. They don't necessarily like to talk about themselves. You might know a thing or two about that. But you know what?
Yeah.
He said, I've dreamt of going first overall.
Of course.
Takes a little guts to, come out to the media and just say that.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what the experts have to say about Jack Hughes.
Held in by Hughes, right side. Hughes, a lane coming in, got the shot, score! Jack Hughes, 5-4 USA.
The thing I've always liked about Jack Hughes is that he makes plays at high speeds, and he does everything with quickness. So even if he doesn't score, he's probably drawing a penalty in the process because guys just can't catch him.
Jack's game on the ice, it's about the vision, the edge work, the skating, and making those around him better. He does all of those things to an elite level.
The speed and quickness in which he can execute plays, arrive on time, and just be in the right place at the right time. He's got that type of ability to make a difference between a team winning and losing.
We know what he's able to do. We know what he brings to the table, both from a market standpoint and on the ice.
I have a saying about Jack. He becomes immediately dangerous when his blades hit the ice.
Well, when I caught up with Sam Cosentino at the Combine, he told a little story. He said when they talked to Jack, he had him ranked second on his list of prospects. And they asked Jack, do you look at the rankings? And Jack said, no, but I saw you had me listed second. So it goes back to what you guys were saying about that calm, cool, collected, almost that swagger that he has, right?
Sounds like he was a little witty, too.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a little wit about him.
Yes.
And you know what? It's true. He's just so cool, calm, and collective, but just has that little bit of attitude that you want to see from a guy like that.
That's what winners have.
Yeah.
That's what winners have. That's one of the ingredients. I told people prior to the Stanley Cup playoffs about Jordan Binnington having that in his eye. The rest is history. I had a chance to meet with him. I had a chance now to meet with Jack Hughes, and I could see it. I could sense that he has that. He's a guy that wants to be a difference maker. He's spoken openly, as you said, about wanting to be #1 overall. He wants to be a member of the New Jersey Devils. He wants to play in the Metro New York market. That says a lot for a young kid of his age that has that level of conviction in his game.
And it shows that he doesn't doubt himself.
Correct.
There's no doubting himself and his abilities. And when you don't have that, problem between the brain where you're not really sure where you sort of fit in, that's a huge part of the element in being a successful hockey player.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that speed and that quickness and his ability to process the game. As soon as he hits the ice, he knows where he's going with the puck, and he's fast enough to execute that. When you think of him moving forward, is he built for where the NHL is going?
No question. I mean, I asked him point blank. I said, so who are you skating with back home in Toronto? He goes, yeah, Connor McDavid. I'm like, yeah, I know that. I know your skating coach. That seems like it's pretty good to me. That's the fastest guy that's ever played the game. That's Usain Bolt from a speed standpoint as it translates to hockey, is Connor McDavid. And the fact that Jack Hughes skates with him, has done drills with him, sees the different ways to develop his game, attack defenses, make plays at speed, as you heard there, but put opposing players under duress. And I look at the Devils team, I think that's one thing that they can continue doing as they get younger, is be faster, be more dynamic. Yes, we know Taylor Hall's a speed merchant, but now if you can complement that with somebody like Jack Hughes, adding more speed to this team and putting those opposing teams to have to play at a pace that maybe they're not comfortable with, that could be a huge asset.
Absolutely. And when he was at the World Championship, you had Patrick Kane saying, that he was only there for a few days, and he said he's better at his age than I was. And if that's any indication, he's going to be a remarkable player going forward here. So it's really an exciting time to be able to decide. It's a big decision to make, but for me, I'm thinking that 1-2 punch of a Nico Hischier and a Jack Hughes, that might be hard to turn away from.
Yeah, that definitely could be. And hey, Patrick Kane, I love your point there. In junior with London Knights in the OHL at that time, Patrick Kane had, if I'm not mistaken, 145 points. And we know how dominant Jack Hughes was with the U.S. development program. So that's high praise from a 3-time Stanley Cup champ in Patrick Kane.
Well, we've talked about Capo Caco, we've talked about Jack Hughes, we've talked about how important this draft is. Coming up in our final segment of the show, we actually talk to the general manager of the Devils, Ray Shero, and get his thoughts on what it takes to be a Devil.